let's kickstart the ladies special then. Here's a quick shout out to all the women out there. Hope you're all set to get some exciting tips for saving your monies and parking them in the right space, in the right place. Mrin Agarwal is joining us right now to help us navigate the markets and understand what would be the prudent way of spending and of saving money. Mrin, hi, thank you so much for coming on board on a day like this. First up, I just want to ask as a hygiene question, what should women keep in mind while handling finances? Now, that's a tricky one, so tell us what you've got.
Good morning, everybody, and a very happy Women's Day. I think the first thing is really to believe in yourself that you can do it. You know, most women have this perception that managing money is something done better by men. Well, let me tell you, in my experience as an advisor, I don't think that, men are better than women in any way in terms of managing money. I also think that there are various behavioral biases that women tend to have. So I think, of course, the first one is all about being very fearful of losing money and the fact that, people are going to tell them that you invested in this and that you lost money. It's also very overwhelming, because even for working women, the number of responsibilities are so high, trying to manage your work life, trying to manage your home and everything else, that one typically then tends to say that, okay, if there's one responsibility that I can give away, let me try to do this. So I think first off, you need to really believe in yourself and believe that you can do it, because if you can do everything else, you can certainly do this. I always believe that knowledge is power. Unless you really read up regularly and you do some bit of research on your own, it's going to be very difficult for you to figure out where to start investing. Of course, there are so many personal finance columns that are there, and there are personal finance shows that are there through which women can learn as well. And finally, unless you really get your hands dirty, which is unless you start investing and lose money, you really are not going to be able to manage the money. So just get in there and get started.
Okay, that is definitely the first thing that we all should keep in mind and should all implement. Get out there, get started, start testing the waters as well. And Mrin, what would be some tips for especially the ones who are beginning to start saving?
Well, I think for those who are beginning to start saving, firstly, have a budget in place. Look at your savings and try to ensure that you're at least trying to save at least 15 to 20%. Ideally, it's better if you can do 30%, but start building the savings consciousness early on, wherein you're going to tell yourself that whatever happens, first I'm going to invest and save. I'm going to save my money and invest, and then I'm going to really spend, So I think the first thing that they really need to start off is by building savings consciousness. And then, of course, as I said, read up, start investing, look at investing into equity mutual funds to start off with. And, don't get swayed by really fancy products.
Okay. What about young investors, those who are still studying or have just started out professionally? What would be some things to watch out for them when they are trying to invest their savings or their monies that they've earned perhaps in different asset classes?
So I think amongst the young people, there's this huge tendency to take loans, and these days with the easy availability of loans, one ends up taking loans for every single purchase or every large purchase, let's say like a laptop or any other gadget, or to even fund vacations. So first, I think you really need to stay away from the temptation of taking these easy loans. Like personal loans, because you need to remember that they are affecting your credit score in some way. Secondly, of course, you need to save before you spend. So I would like to qualify that by saying save and invest before you spend. So if there's a stipend you make, or if you're a college student getting a pocket money, you essentially need to first pull out your investments, make those investments, and then save with the balance amount. Again, as I said, the tendency is to go in for exotic products like cryptocurrencies, and I keep getting these questions on cryptocurrencies, derivatives, and stuff like that in my sessions. And I would say that start off with a simple equity mutual fund. Learn a bit about the markets and see how it goes for the first 6 months to 1 year before really deciding to add on more or choosing other instruments.
Okay, Mrin, hold that thought. We'll just slip into a short break and come back with our viewer queries on the other side. And all the viewers, stay tuned. Welcome back. You've tuned into Buy Now, Sell Now, where we are doing a Women's Day special for all the special ladies out there. Mrin Agarwal is with us. Let's bring her on board once again to address our viewer queries. First up, we have Garima Jain from Mumbai. She has written to us via an email. She's a 20-year-old photographer. She started an SIP of 5,000 rupees in the mid-cap fund in 2017. And her returns, however, have gone down. She wants to know whether she should exit her fund and park her monies into something better, something more that yields her better returns as well. Let's get in Mrin's perspective as to how she should save her money at this point in time.
So, Garima, it's been a very, very short period. I mean, you started investing only in 2017. It's only been 2 years since you started investing. And that's a very short period to really expect good returns on equity markets. Always remember, time spent in the market is more important than timing the market. And to really get the best out of any mid-cap fund, you really would need to be invested for a 7 to 10 year period. So I think it's too early right now, and so remain invested. If that's what your goal is, 7 to 10 years, remain invested, but be aware that mid caps are generally very volatile, and hence it's going to be quite a bumpy ride, but hopefully a good one.
Okay, well, that's the word coming in for Garima Jain. I hope you will be able to make a prudent call basis of what our expert had to say. Query number 2, Pallavi Rao of Chennai has written to us. She's 46 years old and wants to invest a lakh worth of rupees with the time horizon of the next 5 years. What should she invest in if she's looking at primarily funding her child's further studies? That's the main objective for her at this point of time.
So Pallavi, since you are using this money for your child's education, there are 2 options that are available. One is the more conservative option, which is to put money in a debt fund, specifically a short-term debt fund. The other is a slightly riskier option, which is to put money into a balanced fund. A balanced fund is a combination of stocks and bonds, so it has stock market volatility, but at the same time the bonds provide it a little bit of risk diversification. These are the 2 options that you have. So if you want to be more conservative and you want to be less volatile, then go with the debt fund. But if you feel that you can take some amount of risk, you can look at investing into a balanced funds. You do have balanced funds which basically reallocate themselves based on equity markets. You could look at those sort of funds as well for investment.
Okay, moving on to the third query, which is a rather interesting one, Mrin. If you listen to this one, Dhriti of Surat has written to us. She's an entrepreneur. She's 35 years old and currently has very few living expenses. So most of the money that she makes out of her business is hers to use. And She basically wants to break out of that habit of spending, which you had talked about in earlier on in the day. She does not want to spend extra or unnecessary, and she would rather invest that into something that will fetch her better returns over time. She would like the access, however, to the money whenever she wants to utilize it or withdraw it for any purpose. So from that point of view, what would be the best way to invest her profits, her money that she's making out of her business?
So Dhriti, you are an entrepreneur. The first basic rule for entrepreneurs is to keep your business and your personal finance separate. If you don't have separate accounts for your business account and your personal account, start off by first doing that. I do understand that you get money, you generate funds out of the business. What you could look at doing is, firstly, you'll have to figure out what are your financial goals that you're saving money for. Now, since you also want accessibility to the money, then you would have to kind of restrict yourself to debt funds. But I think what's really important is for you to first figure out what is the goal that you're saving money for, and if these are just extra surpluses from business that you are wanting to park, then of course debt funds, and within debt funds the ultra short or the low duration category would be the right place if this is just for parking your business funds.
Okay. Last up then, Amrin, Asma, who's a retired individual. She lives in Bangalore, and she says that she gets her pension regularly, but her medical bills are high. So in order to sort of safeguard her health care, safeguard her expenses regarding her health and medical, what would be the best possible way for her to park her monies, her pension or her past savings, whichever that may be?
Well, honestly, it's a little difficult because, I do understand that with just with pension, it's kind of a little difficult. However, since the medical expenses are not going to be at a particular time, I mean, you don't know when you're going to need the money, you certainly cannot look at investing this money in equities, because you need the money to be accessible to you when you want the money. So the better way then would be to still look at shorter term debt funds. What I mean is debt funds like low duration or ultra short term debt funds, where one, you get returns better than what you would have got in fixed deposits. At the same time, the money is really easily accessible to you as and when you need the money for your requirements.
Okay, Mrin, I really appreciate you taking time out to chat with us about giving tips to our viewers, especially our female viewers, as to how to save money, and also helping a few of them address their queries and address their concerns regarding investment ideas and the way they are investing in, and what will be the best possible way to make the most of their savings. With that, we'll wrap it up on this special edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. But do remember that all through the day, we at ET Now will be celebrating International Women's Day with some of the biggest names from the world of finance. At 12 p.m. on Markets at Noon, we'll speak to Preeti Agarwal of ClearTax, who solves the tax maths. Shibani Sarkar Kurian of Kotak AMC and Amisha Vora of Prabhudas Leeladhar analyze the market fundamentals during closing trades. Not just that, tune in at 5:30 p.m. for two inspiring stories from the mutual fund world of Radhika Gupta of Edelweiss and Aditi Kothari of DSP Investments. Know how Radhika, famously known as the girl with the broken neck, made her mark at an early age of 25. All this and much more about financial freedom today on The Money Show at 5:30. Ready?
Who's? Okay, can you tell me again what you just said?
क्या नाम वाम बोलना है, ऐसे ही बात करनी है.
It's mostly the unexplored fields that now women are exploring. Like I explored comedy and like making their mark where they thought they could never reach is what makes me glad about being a woman, that we can do anything.
So in this organization, I like being a woman because I'm the producer for 2 of the main shows, and it's pretty cool that I get to lead the PCR and, you know, instruct my anchors around, actually instruct the managing editor of this channel. So that is pretty cool.
A woman is, you know, God's creation, and it is such a creation that, you know, even a man is incomplete without a woman. So you're a homemaker, you're a sister, you're a mother. It's the best thing ever.
I love everything about being a woman, especially the fact that I can be emotionally expressive about everything that I feel. That is one of my favorite things.
I have a whole lot of more clothing options than men do. The second one comes in is that I can gossip a lot. Men usually don't do that. I can gossip a lot about anything with my best friend.
So in 2019, I don't think women are more about being fragile as a flower. They are more about being fragile as a bomb. I think they stand for everything they want and their choices. And the way they are conquering themselves and their dreams and everything and making their choices, I think I am very proud to be a part of that gender.
The best part about being a woman is that you have so many options to choose from when you're like dressing up, and not to forget the makeup. But on a serious note, I think it's really the power to create a new life, to bring a new human being into this world. I think that's the biggest strength a woman has.